This is my Grizzly. I got it about 10 years ago. At the time, it sold for right around $400. But I imagine it's gone up about, I don't know, $100 by now. Don't really know, I haven't looked it up. When I got it, they had some sort of a table that was mounted, so you could do flat things. But I don't really use that. I have other things to grind flat. I use it mostly for this here area right here, the slack belt, between the platen and the contact wheel. You can get bigger contact wheels. This is the one that it came with. On the other side of it, it also comes with a buffing. You can put different buffing wheels on. So it was really good. So I should do the positive things about it are, okay, the price. And it comes with the buffer. That saves you, money there. It's a very strong motor. And this buffer is just awesome. And it's far enough away from the motor that you can really work around it and stuff like that. The other great thing is that there's down underneath here, on the other side, there are hex wrench screws. And if you tighten or loosen them, you can take this here, and I'm grabbing, and you can pull this down. And you can do these kind of like, it's a lot more comfortable. You can do flat grinding. So that's kind of neat. It also gives you the ability, there are sometimes you want more wheel up here. And so that's, you could actually, I suppose, turn it upside down. Okay, that's the positive part, that this platen is really good. It's beveled here. So it's nice and flat. If I'm gonna, one moment, I know this is going to shake the camera, I'm going to tilt this back up. That's it. And to loosen, I got, you pull down on this and then he said with one hand, and that's how you get the belts off. Pull down on that mechanism at the top. Now the negatives. First of all, the biggest problem I have with this is mounting it. You got to mount it to just the right type of place. And I'll show you what I mean. Here's an old knife. And when you mount it, okay, this builds up. This is a mistake of mine. You're supposed to put like a dish here to catch the sparks, but the problem is there's not a lot of clearance. And the dish gets into the way. Now, the way around that, many people, when they have their machine, is they take their contact wheel and they mount the machine so it's not over, so that it's free here, it's not over any part of the desk or the bench. The problem is that this here mounting bracket actually goes to right there. So I've done this before, but when you try to mount it, it'd be nice if this wheel were over 3-4 more inches. So there's just not a lot of clearance. I've had this mounted over there, and then I moved it back, and I've had it the other direction. The other thing is you want to mount it to something that's really secure, and I got this big table. It's about 100 pounds anyway. The other thing you want to make sure you do is you can't have anything underneath the buffer. And a couple of times I've had this mounted on workbenches and everything, and it does not work at all to put something under here, especially if you're polishing swords like I do. So I wish this contact wheel were 3-4 more inches out this way. But you can't have that because it would screw up the whole everything. Everything would have to be over. The other part that's bad is the switch. I burned it out twice. Excuse me. That's why I had to mail away to the Grizzly company and get new switches. And the problem with that is that I always thought that it was, the first time it burned out, I just assumed that there's like 2 wires in and out. But no, there's a bunch of wires in there, and I totally screwed up where they're supposed to be. They all look the same. And I totally screwed up what was going to what part. So it took a long time, I'm not an electrician, for me to figure out that. The other part is the platen. Some people prefer, and I think I would prefer, if this were cut. It comes bent so that the belt slides, you know. I would prefer that this were cut sharp, but I'm not sure if that's possible. It would be nice. Some people leave the table. The reason I got rid of the table is the table rocked and it was tilted funny. So it didn't help me do smooth corners anyway, so I took it off, and I've never needed it. It was hard to mount. Excuse me. It was hard to mount with the bolts. You can't get it was hard to get a drill to drill the holes in the right spot. I think it came with a template. For the first time I mounted it, you can see the holes through the years. I've moved it around, searching for the right place for this thing, and it's ended up here, but this is not really where I wanted it. I slid it over. It used to hang over. This wheel used to hang over, but this ended up too close. It was, an extra couple inches over here, and that was just too close to this little handle down here and everything. So I'll turn it on. Where's that? Yeah. It's a really good buffer. That's what it sounds like when it runs. It's 10 years old. I'm not sure what the new ones are like. It doesn't give you the ability to have a smaller, some people like a contact wheel that is really small, like 2-3 inches. There's no chance of me having that. Unless I took maybe the top shroud off. I could use this as a contact wheel. I don't know if anybody's ever done that, but I guess I could do that. Cut that off. But that would be nice if I could get a contact wheel that was small, even just small as this. On some of the modern grinders, they have that ability that you can switch wheels. That's about it. Just a grinder. Good old thing, strong. I've had no problems except for the switch. And the design of that foot pad that's a bother. If that foot pad were a different design, this would be I could mount this way over and it would be cool.